people are always a product of their environment,
Yeah.
right? So you're in an environment that has a lot of people that are trying to contain you, right?
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I find very similar with a lot of the people that I've talked to, especially on the show, is that they were in this environment where they're trying to excel
Yeah.
and become the best. But everybody around them, even the people that they love, it's not always the drug dealers and the people that
more
despise
often
it.
than not, it's the
Right.
real enemy.
Right. It's not done out of like a spiteful
It's not
mentality
malicious,
either.
man.
Right. It's just like they legitimately think
I
they're
would
doing
rather
the
the
best thing for
malicious.
you.
I would rather the enemy. I would rather know that somebody is consciously
Right.
trying to stop
Because
me.
then you know it's at least wrong. 100%.
I know what they're
saying.
up to.
Yeah,
Dude.
exactly.
It's my sister that wants to cuddle me
Exactly.
under the disguise of I just want to take care of you.
Yeah.
That is the most damaging because it's the wife you sleep with. It's your dad that says, dude, I just don't want you to get hurt.
Exactly.
Right? Like it's the people in your life that care for you that don't even know that they're actually damaging
Yeah.
you.
Holding you from reaching.
Yeah, because they have some other agenda. That's why I say never take advice from a quitter. That's not a damaging comment. It's like, look, if your dad quit on money, if he was going along in his life and he's like, I'm going to go get it, right? And then one day he's like, it's not worth it. Somebody, he had a big loss. He's like, I'm not going to go for it anymore. That's the last guy you'd want to get advice from. If somebody went bankrupt because they expanded too fast, they're going to tell you when you go to expand, they're going to be like,
money.
dude, don't spend money and bigger's not better.
Right.
Don't never take advice from a quitter. He quit on expansion because he got spanked.
Right.
Rather than recalibrating and figure out, creating a new network. I need a new network of people that are winning. And just because you were winning a decade ago doesn't mean you should be in my network today. Because a guy was expanding 10 or 15 or 20 years ago doesn't mean, like when you study mentors, you got to study where they're at in the cycle. Right? So I don't know what a good example is, but I want advice from Jack Welch when he was building GE, not when he pulled away from it. So I want to know from Howard Schultz when he's blowing up Starbucks, not when he's leaving the company. He's going to go into politics. I don't care about his politics. I care about his expansion.
Right. So this is something that I find really fascinating is that most people will always look for the excuse to stay average. So what I mean by that is like they're okay with comparison if it's to people that are less fortunate. Right.
Yeah.
So they'll use it as like well, just be grateful that you're not, in Zimbabwe, like living in a grass hut. But then the second that you bring up, we'll look at Grant Cardone. He's buying multifamily real estate in millions of dollars,
hundreds of millions
of dollars. And he's worth all this money and stuff. But then when you say that, it's like, well, you should just be grateful for where you are. So they use comparison only when it's in their advantage. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. Look, this is you just encapsulated the entire definition of the middle class. The middle class in America and other middle classes that are being developed in India and other third world countries where there's not a middle class, they are based on comparisons. The entire middle class is a complete phenomenon. It is a mythological creation by politicians where comparison is the definition.
Right.
I am in the middle because I'm not in poverty. And because I'm not super rich.
Right.
Even rich to a degree is just a fancy middle class.
Right.
Like if you ask my 7-year-old or Sabrina, hey, what do you think? What is the middle class? Because she asked me one day, she's like, you talk about the middle class all the time. What is it, Bob? I said, what do you think it is? She's like, I think it's rich people that are really poor. And that's the person that makes $70,000 a year,
right?
Doesn't have any money left over, making their car payments, making their house payments, stuck, can't leave, can't move. But you're better off because you said it perfect. You are better off than somebody in Zimbabwe,
right? So just be grateful.
Who's never had a bicycle.
So
be grateful, be
pushing,
satisfied.
Right.
Okay, don't push.
Right.
You have more than most. You have clothes on your back. You have transportation, you have air conditioning, you have food in your refrigerator. And every time you go to Whole Foods, by the way, you're like, ouch. Yeah. That's not freedom, folks. So Travis, you're doing a service to people to tell them the truth.
So what is the balance then? Because I feel like being grateful is a really good practice.
Yeah.
But there's also you should also have some sort of a healthy dissatisfaction for where you are to keep pushing forward. So what's the balance between the two?
I think people need to be great. and full of great. You need to be great. Somebody said the other day, man, you're really blessed. I said, no, dude, I'm proving it. I'm proving that I'm blessed. I'm not interested. God doesn't need to be recognized as blessing me. God has zero, like he's not putting a mark on the board. I need to prove that I'm blessed. He already did his work. I need to do my work now. You guys need to go out and prove that you're blessed. Yeah. You need to get grateful, full of greatness. And do I need to be grateful? Dude, I'm grateful for everything. But I'm not spending time on grateful. I'm spending time on how do I fulfill my potential. That is the great payback. Like if there's a God, a higher power, whatever you want to call him, him, her, it, right. Dude, the great payback is to prove it, is to fulfill the potential, not to be like, well, I got to work today and I didn't get in a wreck.
Yeah.
All right, good, man. But that can't be the rest of my day. Or I came to work today and I didn't get drunk. Or I didn't punch anybody in the face today. Like I didn't punch anybody in the face. I didn't beat my wife up. I didn't make my kids feel bad. I could be grateful for that.
So I'm good.
Yeah. I'm good.
Right.
So the rager, that's what the rager does. I didn't beat anybody's face in it. Okay, dude, look, like where are we going to move the conversation to? And that's what I'm interested in. I am very
is that really the fulfillment of your potential to not hit people? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Right. Like
I'll give you an example. Like I just I bought a plane 3 years ago, sold the plane, bought another plane. When I got on the new plane, okay, I was literally on this plane 3 minutes. It's a brand new plane, Gulfstream 550. It's like top of the line, everything. I was on that plane maybe 3 minutes. Johnny, you weren't on that flight with us, were you?
No, I wasn't.
Okay. Sherry, my COO, was on the flight. Elena was on the flight. Ryan Secco was on the pilot, and I'm on 3 minutes, and I said, I'm going to buy the next level. So was I grateful? Am I ungrateful? Dude, I love the plane I'm on, okay? Yeah. I'm extremely grateful for it. But I know. Now, the question now in this conversation becomes, when is enough enough? And if you're asking that question, I guarantee you don't have enough, and you're not working hard enough, and you're not going for your potential. Rather, you're measuring against other people.
Yeah.
So you're trying to make sense of what you said. You're trying to make sense of why you don't have what you have, and you'll do that by making me wrong.
Right. And changing it into a
Totally.
morality issue.
Totally.
Just saying, getting rich is selfish, and it's
totally.
And all this other stuff.
Now it's going to become. See, nobody's ever covered this what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
Now the guy's going to drop into a morality issue. Why do you need so much?
Right.
You could have taken that money for that plane, and you could have fed hungry people. You know. Well, dude, I'm feeding hungry people. By the way, when we're having this conversation, I'm feeding more hungry people than the guy asking the question.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. That's always the interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
There it is. For those listening, we'll link up to the video in the show notes. You come check it out. We just put a little model of Grant's plane he just bought up on the desk here. So.
No, this is the actual plane though that I bought.
Yeah, the actual model, right?
I shrink myself to get in the plane.
The future.
Yeah, the future shrinker.
Okay, cool. So we covered a lot of stuff so far. This is the Build Your Network podcast where we talk a lot about networking, building relationships, and we've kind of touched on it already. But the question I always ask to get the conversation going in the right direction is, do you believe that what you know or who you know is more important, and why?
Yeah, I believe that. I've had this conversation with a lot of people. I believe who you know is more important than what you know.
Why is that?
Well, you know, look, your connections, man. The connections can accelerate everything. So we did a growth conference. We did my annual growth conference. We did one that was 9,000 people there, 23 speakers. You know, I didn't know this years ago. I was out there competing. I write about this in If You're Not First, You're Last. The competition thing is a dead art. You don't want to compete with people. You want to collaborate with people. And I didn't know this because the way I grew up, because my dad died probably, I didn't have any connections. And because I didn't have connections and I didn't have a network and I wasn't in the club and I wasn't in the country club and I wasn't at the golf course and I didn't know the bankers, I probably, because I didn't have those things and I didn't know how to do it, I probably made networking like wrong as opposed to using it to collaborate.
Right.
Because I can tell you a whole bunch of people that are less talented than me that went faster than me.
That's exactly my whole point with this entire show. And if you listen to this all the time, you definitely know this is where I stand on it. But what you just said, it basically encapsulates my entire purpose for this, because I feel like the what is obviously important. You have to be competent and you have to have a skill set and you have to work on that craft.
Yeah.
But I just find that if you focus more of your time on the who, the speed will always be greater.
Dude.
Like you'll skip rungs on the ladder, you'll shorten the runway, however you want to phrase it. You'll
Yeah.
get so much better, so much faster.
Yeah, and if you combine the two,
Yeah.
you're unstoppable.
Yeah.
If you are committed to greatness and you collaborate with other people and lift them up, like make other people great.
Yeah.
You know, my sister said to me when we were doing this conference, it was 4 days. She's like, my God, you shared the amount of time you give other people on the stage is unbelievable, right? We did a 4-day event, 9,000 plus people.
Yeah, it was incredible.
And, you know, I give speakers, why, Grant, why you could be up there the whole time. I said, no, I'm sharing that platform. Right. Now, what does that do for me? First of all, it edifies me.
For sure.
It's like
100%.
I don't need to be on the stage.
Yeah.
They're on the stage on my behalf. It gives me a network, a built-in network. So we spent $4 million with the Mandalay Bay.
Yeah.
So
It was incredible
to
too,
give
yeah.
me instant. Okay, I got speakers that came from around the world to deliver content. I didn't pay them. I wrote a check to Mandalay Bay for $4 million. I gave them an audience.
Right.
Most people cannot put 9,000 people in front of themselves.
Oh.
So I did that for a whole bunch of people and gave them a great qualified audience. So you want to do whatever you have to do what you're saying, which is build this network, like to reach up. And I realized one day I was watching CNBC one morning. I saw all the players on the planet, the top 50 or 100 players or whatever that number is. They were all showing up in Davos in Switzerland.
Okay.
Buffett, Gates, all the players, the Google boys. I'm like, dude, look, what are you doing, Grant? What are you doing, man? You're so stupid, dude. You need to go to Davos. You need to show up where the other players are. You need to go there and eat dinner. Eat dinner with the kings and the queens. Now, I know some people, this goes back to this last thing you said about the morality thing.
Yeah.
I don't need all that. Okay, when you say you don't need all that, you're being selfish. You need to eat with kings and queens and power players because it's going to accelerate everything for your family.
Right.
Like if you're one of those people that you're a Greenpeace guy, the best thing you could do is go eat dinner with Bill Gates, right? Rather than being in your little freaking Zodiac boat, just doing the Zodiac boat thing, attacking the big ship. You need money, you need funding, you need support, you need
Exactly.
people behind you. You can't do anything by yourself.
Yeah.